So today's episode is brought to you by an article I read written by the people at the University of People. Yes, and it is about thinking critically. You don't want to be caught doing the regular. So in this place, we are more than just the regulars. We are advancing for more. We are becoming better versions of ourselves. And that is why today I am bringing to you the topic titled Thinking or Learning How to Think Critically. Yes. All right, guys, you're welcome to my channel. My name is Onyinye Favor, and if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, what are you waiting for? Today, I just want you to click that subscribe button. Click it. It doesn't hurt. Click the subscribe button, and don't forget to like and share this video. Comment on what you think is the most impressive thing about what you're talking about today. Yeah, so let's get right into it. So what is critical thinking? So the basic definition of critical thinking is simply means individual thinking, knowing how to think independent of others, like you are not being influenced by the opinion of others or how others think. You are individually having an idea and bringing it out in the public right there. So that's critical thinking. And critical thinking is just the opposite of regular thinking. And I think this one is more reflective. It is more independent. So when you think of critical thinking, think of it as an individual thinking, your own thoughts that are influenced by just you being able to think deeply. That is critical thinking. Now, how do you learn to think critically? Number one, ask basic questions and question basic assumptions. So what this means is that don't allow yourself to be an oh yes member. Because somebody said something, you just agree with it. So when a situation is posed to you, the first thing you should do is ask basic questions. Why is it this way? Must we go this way? Is there an alternative? Why are we choosing to go with this route? Is there no simpler method? Is there an alternative for us to, subscribe to? So ask basic questions. Now, when it comes to making or questioning basic assumptions, think of it like this. When you're in a group discussing about a particular situations and someone said, or maybe come up with an ideology, comes up with a quote, or comes up with something, question basic assumptions. Don't just agree with what you're saying. It can be done another way. Just because we think that something is being done this particular way doesn't mean there's no other way to do it. So question basic assumptions. So that's for one. Number two is evaluating the evidences that exist. So just like I said in our former example about when a situation is being brought to you, so what you should do in this case is examine the reasons that support that claim. For instance, there's an argument being argued upon. Examine the reasons they are giving that is supposedly supporting that claim. Dig deeper. Don't just go with the flow. Check out the evidences. Just try to know more. Try to know if this evidences around substantiates that argument, or you can bring more. Like when you say this is what it is, it's hard for somebody to refute what you just said. So think deeply and evaluate the evidences around you, whatever the case might be. And so number three is that you should push yourself to think critically. What I mean is that, remember, just like we're defining critical thinking, the objective here is to not allow yourself to be influenced by the opinion of others, by the feeling of others. You're having a discussion with somebody and they say, I think this is how it should be. This is how it should be. No, like, I'm not saying you should quarrel, but I'm saying you should allow yourself to think critically. Be an independent person when it comes to your thoughts. Allow yourself to think. Don't just go with the flow. Think deeper. Push yourself, force yourself to think for yourself. By thinking for yourself, you are thinking critically. Don't allow everything you go by, your principles, is because of someone said. Every single thing. I mean, there's always that one thing that someone said that you will agree with, but don't allow every single thing to be because someone said. Make sure you have your own thoughts for yourself. That's it about pushing yourself to think critically. So number 4 is being aware of your thought process. Ordinarily or generally, we are positioned in such a way that we always go with the flow. Someone says this is how something should be, you just go with it. And if it's not that way, you're always looking for shortcuts to opinions or shortcuts to a destination, shortcuts to arrive at a point. That's our general way of thinking. Human beings, we don't always want to go further. We just want to, okay, what did you say? Allow someone do the research for you, allow somebody do the thinking for you, and then you go with the flow. Don't just look for shortcuts. Think about the process of how you got to a particular destination. Think about the process of how your thoughts, aligned until you got to a certain point. Be aware of your thought process. It is easy not to be aware of it. Before you know it, you are at a conclusion and you forgot how before you didn't have a solution to that problem. But when the solution comes, you just forget how possibly you racked your brain and tried to get to that solution. So continuously be aware of your thought process. It keeps you in that critical thinking mindset. And then finally, I want to talk about practicing a critical thinking exercise. So on your own, you can enter into a debate, or just like the elections have ended now, you see that a lot of people go into political debates like, why am I choosing this particular candidate? And why are these other people thinking, or these other people choosing the other side? These are the things that allow yourself to think critically. I don't know if you've been in a situation where this is who you support, right? This is the candidate you support. And then there's another person who is equally learned, possibly even more learned than you are or exposed than you are, but this person is choosing the other candidate. Try to think, allow yourself and say, what in the world? Why would this person choose this other person? Like, to you, it doesn't seem logical, but that's how you help yourself to think critically. So think, why is this person choosing this particular person? And why am I choosing another person? These are situations or scenarios that allow you to think critically. So that's it, guys. So let's do a recap. Number 1, I talked about asking simple questions and questioning basic assumptions. Ask questions, don't just go with the flow. And number 2, evaluate the evidences around you. The evidences that exist when somebody has given reasons to support a particular claim or argument, examine them. You could bring more. You don't have to just go with what is there. Evaluate them. If you need to bring more, wonderful. If you need to go with it, great. So evaluate the evidences that exist. And number 3, I talked about pushing yourself to think critically. If you don't force yourself to think critically, it will not work. Give yourself that opportunity to think critically. Push yourself, force yourself. It is by allowing yourself to think for yourself that you are able to think critically. Just think of it as, I'm trying to be an independent thinker. I'm not trying to subscribe to the fact that just because this person said this is what it should be, and then I just go with the flow. No, that's not the case. I'm trying to be an independent thinker. So number 4, I talked about being aware of your thought process. Don't just look for shortcuts to the point, or to come to a point, or to come to a destination, or come to a solution. Make sure you are aware of how you got there. About exercises, practicing critical thinking exercises, entering a debate, thinking about why you're choosing a certain political candidate. It could be anything at all. It could be the fact that why we think that man is from God, or man is in existence. Whatever the case may be, just think critically. Practice critical thinking exercise. If you have watched till this point, I want you to type in the comment your own idea of critical thinking, or what you think could possibly help you think more critically. All All right, thank you for watching. Bye.